Netball photo. So let's go through this quickly. The first question, I hope you didn't have any problem. It was normal substitution, calculating the length of the side, and then I found it to be 8,5. Did you get that? Okay. 7.2.1, I asked you to start with this sum by naming the angles. That wasn't named, ne? So this one, we spoke about this a lot yesterday, so I hope you got it right. This angle right here, if I start with it, the bottom D1, it's going to be 180 minus 90, which is 90, minus alpha. So that's 90 degrees minus alpha. Did you get it like that? You all understand? Right. Then the top one there, you could either use a triangle, whatever here, but you could use the big triangle as well. You see the big one? 180 minus 90 is 90 minus theta, and then you get to 90 minus theta. So there are different ways to getting to that value, but the end answer must just be 90 minus theta. Then this top one right here, we spoke about it yesterday. You can say it's angles on a straight line. So it's 180 minus 90 minus alpha. And I hope you all understand now why it must be in brackets, because this is the whole angle's value. It's not two different angles. If it was two different angles, then we wouldn't put it in brackets. So the moment that I put it in brackets, the 90 is subtracted to become 90. And then the negative multiplies with that negative to become plus alpha. So this one is 90 degrees plus alpha. Do you all understand that one? It's an important one. And then this one right here, that's also one that I asked for in 7.1. The big angle is theta. There it is. That angle is alpha. Now if they gave us real values, they would, for example, say that angle is 100 degrees and this angle is 30 degrees. What would this angle be? Then you would say 100 minus 30 to get 70. But now you do it in the same way. You're just not going to find the answer. So you're going to say theta minus alpha. Okay, that was the first one's answer as well. Now the second one asked you to find or to show that the length of AD is h sin theta minus alpha cos alpha. There it is. Alright, so AD is part of this triangle. That's why I only drew it alone here. I put in my small letters. This is small letter C, small letter A, small letter D. Because I want to calculate that side, which is small letter C, I need to have angle C, and I do have it. I don't have this one. I want the small letter C, but I have big letter C, capital letter C. And then I need one full ratio. Okay? And I have the side there, that's D, and I have the angle, that's D. And I use it in the sine rule. I knew I'm going to use the sine rule because I've got two angles and one known side. That allows us to use the sine rule. So what I did is I took the sin C over before I substitute. So I got that AD alone. That's the side C. And when I got it alone, only after that did I substitute into it. So in the place of D I put H. In the place of C I put alpha, theta minus alpha. In the place of D I put 90 degrees plus alpha. Now if I compare this to what they wanted, it's almost the same. But with the one that they asked you, they had a cos at the bottom. Now I go and look there, I have sin 90 plus alpha, but I know that 90 plus or minus is a cofunction. So therefore 90 plus puts me in the second quadrant where sin is positive, so it can stay positive, but the sin changes to a cos, and then it's exactly what they wanted me to find. Do you understand that, grade 11s? Ek het werk gemerk en dan moet jy net die volgende 5 sommetjies doen. So ek wil jy gou die memo afneem daar. Maar doen dit. Okay, the next question, all you had to do was substitute. No, that's easy. And I told you, you use the one that they gave you, even if you weren't able to get to it. You use the one that they gave you. Substitute, and then you get 10,6 units. Thank you, Brendan. And then the last question, they ask you to calculate the area of triangle ACD. Now, I just want to show you quickly. We found this side C to be 10,6 units. That's what we just calculated. Now, you have to be careful because this angle here was 90 degrees minus theta. Because when you calculate the area of a triangle, you must have two sides and one angle, but that angle must be included. You can't use the 10,6 and the 17 that they gave you and then use this angle C. Do you see the problem? Because then it's angle, angle, side. It must be side, angle, side. Do you understand that? So therefore, I'm going to choose a half CD sin A. Make sure, put in the time you need to get the correct variables so that you substitute the correct values. It's 10,6, 17, and then sin 90 degrees minus 58. So I used angle A. I just want to show you here at the top. I used angle A. That's where the 90 is coming from. Theta, they gave me the value. So it's 90 minus 58. And then that one was 17 and this one was 10,6. This is units squared. Sorry, I didn't finish writing it. Do you all understand it? Are you managing to get it right a bit better than you felt about it yesterday? Okay. I'm going to do I don't actually want to do this one with you because it's, as I said, there aren't a lot of them. But we can do it together. I want us just to do 2017 together. You don't have to draw the diagram, but I just want you, don't just copy now. I will send it to you on the group as well. I just want you to listen to me. They gave you this diagram, and then they asked you to show that cos theta is equal to x squared plus 3 over 4x. Do you see that this is a triangle without a 90-degree angle? Okay, so therefore we know we're going to use the sine or the cosine rule. When I look at that, I suspect the cosine rule. Okay, even when I look at that, the squares, something added at the top and then the division, probably cosine. I have one angle and three sides. Right, so I can actually use the sine or the cosine rule, but because of this, I'm going to stick to the cosine. They want me to find the value of cos theta. It's only the cosine rule that has cos theta in it. Now, because I want cos theta in the equation, I need to go and look which side am I going to start with. So it's going to be the opposite side. Okay? So it's q squared equal to p squared plus r squared minus 2pr cos theta. And that was the hardest part of the sum. The next part is substituting. Nothing to it. Simplifying. And then in the last step, getting cos theta alone. Now, usually we get theta alone. Eh? So the cos would have to go over as well. But they only asked for cos theta. So therefore, I left that q squared on this side. I brought over the 3 squared that became 9 and subtracted it. I brought over the 2x squared, which is 4x squared, to the left hand side, subtracted, and only divided with negative 12x. And that was all of the values that I got there with the simplification. Now, in its simplest form, or just a step, when I simplify it further, it gives me negative 3x squared minus 9 over negative 12x. Now, normally maybe you would have stopped there, but if you look at this answer that they want, you will see that they took out a negative 3 in common at the top. Or you can say they divided each one here with negative 3. And then you end up with x squared plus 3 over 4x. So it's not really a hard one, you see that? Okay. The next question they asked you to calculate theta, and then they tell you what x is. So they give you 2,4. You substitute into it, you calculate it. Now in the final step you're going to have to say shift cos. Do you agree with that? Okay. The next one they're asking for the area. So once again you must just look out so that you take side, angle, side, and not just any angle or any side. And now the last question, that's actually the one that I want to talk to you about. They are asking you to give the values of x for where this thing will be real. I think that's the question, where it exists. Okay. So what this means is there are values of x that will make this triangle no longer exist because of that 3 there. Does that make sense to you? So if this side is 1,000,000, or if x is 1,000,000, this side will be 2,000,000, and this side will be 1,000,000, and this side will be 3. It won't make a triangle anymore. Does that make sense to you? So you understand that there are limitations to it. Now it's a pretty difficult concept to understand, but I think because we've got the cosine rule, we've got cos in it. Do you remember there's a limitation to cos as well? Cos is from negative 1 to 1. But we can't have a negative value for x in a triangle, It's a distance. So therefore, we know that theta must be between 0 and 90 degrees for this to exist. And because cos theta must be smaller than 1 and greater than 0. Does that make sense to you all? And do you remember originally, they said cos theta is x squared plus 3 over 4x. So all they wanted you to do here is to substitute the cos theta with what they gave you originally. And that's why they gave it to you at the beginning. And then this is an inequality. Do you remember inequalities? So we multiply this side with 4x, so it cancels out. You multiply that side with 4x, you get the trinomial. Factorize it. You get your 0 points, and then x is between 1 and 3. Do you understand? Okay. I have to go and take a photo now. I will be back, but I'm not going to do anything further with you. So I will leave this for you if you want to copy it quickly or take a picture or whatever. It's fine, just understand it. And then your homework for tomorrow is going to be 2016. Only 7.2. Only 7.2. Not 7.1. 7.1 is the proof of the theorem. Okay? So 7.2, easy. It's calculate the length of this side, calculate the length of this side. Normal, cosine and sine rule. You will be able to do that. And then I want you... And then the last one is 2015. There's only one question, but I don't want you to look at my answers here. Okay, you can check out this one. But they scare us when they put a triangle in a circle, because what is this now? But remember, the moment that it's in a circle, the moment that it's in a circle, we've got extra things that we can use. Because do you see that line PR? What type of line is that? Diameter. So when it's a diameter, I know that there are 2 radii. Firstly, I'm not saying everything I'm saying is things that we're going to use. I just want to tell you what we have available. So we have radii, and I know that the radius is y and the radius is y because the diameter is 2y. Does it make sense? No? Okay, and then at a stage they ask you to draw a line TP. Now, do you notice something about the triangle PTR? Say again, Moana, so everyone can hear. 90 degrees. It's an angle in a semicircle. Can you see that? So those two things are things that we get from a diameter. We get the radii, and we have an angle in a semicircle because of that line that you're going to draw in later on. So that's all I want to say. I want you to try it yourself. They're going to ask you to give the length of PT in terms of y and theta. So I just want you to remember, then you have another angle, no? And or what does it mean when I have a 90-degree angle? What can I do in that one? Two things. Pythagoras and normal, sin, cos, and tan. I don't have to use the sine and the cosine rule. Okay, that's all I want to say about it. Let me just stop this recording.